It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
But it's not Steph and Gary. It's actually Tim and Emily. Hi,
Yeah,
Tim.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I'm not Steph.
I'm not Gary.
Sorry.
Welcome to rAVe TV, the AV industry's weekly TV show where we tell you the latest news, industry trends, and updates.
And
Welcome,
the
Tim.
only live one.
The only live one. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, how did we end up here?
That's a very good question. I think it started with Steph's going on vacation. Tim, can you hang out with Gary? And I'm like, yeah, I love hanging out with Gary. And then Gary's like, I have a thing. Emily, can you hang out with Tim?
And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
So that's how we ended up here, but happy to be here with you.
Happy to be here. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've got some really cool things going on. I'm actually headed to your neck of the woods this week. Not exactly. I'm a big dumb Midwesterner, but North Carolina is North Carolina.
Yeah.
In my head. I'm going to Charlotte, just outside of Charlotte,
Okay.
for the PASS conference. It's a conference on school safety and security. Yep. Our friend Chuck Wilson used to be at NSCA. He has started this initiative, oh, good Lord, 5-10 years ago now. And they've got a conference. So I will be somewhere in North Carolina.
It's week. Concord, like right outside
Concord, yes.
Yeah, right outside of Charlotte. And then actually Lydia from our team who works on our our end user AV Buyers Club opportunities, and she'll be joining you.
Yep, she will. We'll hang out for a couple days in Concord. So
Yep.
that'll be kind of cool. So,
yeah.
All right.
Should we get into it?
Yeah, we should get into it, yes.
So we've got a lot of good things lined up for today's episode, and I think you first wanted to talk about smart technologies and some accessibility for students and educators.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Smart has had some ups and downs over the last couple of years. That is 100% for sure. But this is one of the initiatives that they are starting to really lean in on. The update is called Lumio. It is a cloud-based teaching and learning platform. Here's what the thing, though, is. It's really leaning into accessibility. And when it comes to both higher education as well as K-12, that is absolutely necessary. So this new update, according to the article, quote unquote, accessibility isn't a feature you add at the end. It has to be part of how learning experiences are designed from the very beginning. And that is exactly what Smart has done here. I'm going to be interested to see whether or not this adds to their uptake, it adds to the overall deployment, but at least it's good on them for thinking ahead and bringing accessibility into the classroom.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for them, and I agree with you. It'll be interesting to see how people take to it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're going to get into our first sponsor, and then bring a very, very special guest on. So I'm very excited about this guest, by the way. An old friend of mine has joined our friends over at Visionary, and we're going to talk to him in a few minutes.
Yep.
All right, welcome back. So we're going to bring on a young man by the name of Phil Cordell, who is now the Vice President of Marketing for Visionary. Mr. Cordell, how are you, sir?
What's up, gang? How are you?
Good.
Doing well. Welcome, Phil.
Great. Thanks for having me. Thrilled to be here. AV's only live show. We're doing it. We're making it happen in real time for the people. Could not be happier to be here with you.
So I'm going to tell a story on Phil. I have plenty, so I'm just going to tell one. I've known Phil, good God, for 15 years at least. I met Phil. He was working for an integrator out of Nashville, M3, when I started AV Nation, and he was already doing parody videos in AV. Very creative young man, and we connected and did got into a whole lot of trouble together. And now he is with the folks over at Visionary. So, really quickly, Phil, I want to get into your kind of career trajectory here. Talk to me about moving from the integration side when you were at M3 and moving over to marketing with Visionary. What made this the right time and the right move for you?
Great question, Tim. I wasn't looking for a gig. I had sold out of my stake in M3 back in February of 2020. Who knew what was to come? But it's because I'd been, I was always working my integration job for the past, about 15 years prior to that. It was a fantastic job. We created so much cool stuff. As Hi-Fi the AV professional, that was kind of my side gig, but I was also writing for TV and film, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do, was get out there and kind of tell some big stories like that. And so sold out at M3, chased that dream, made a couple movies, got to do some acting, still doing some of that stuff to an extent, still developing scripts, and then just got a text, a random text. Hey, are you open to a conversation? And it happened to be Scott Freshman over at Visionary, who I'd spoken with in like February of 2020, right after I left M3. He had pinged me. He was like, "Hey man, if you ever want to make some videos, we'd love some help." And at that time I was like, "Man, I'm trying to get to Hollywood, bro. I'm sorry," and it just made sense right now. I wasn't necessarily looking to jump back, but I've kept my CTSD current. There was that thing in the back of my head. Tim probably saw. I was still like low key stalking everybody on LinkedIn, little like here, little thumbs up there for the past 6 years. I wonder what my old friends are doing. And so when Scott and I reconnected, he told me everything that Visionary had done just since he and I had last spoken about the explosive growth, about the roadmap of products that they've got. And I was like, man, that's really exciting. That like sounds pretty cool, and I would love to help tell that story if you guys are open to it. And of course, that's what he was thinking as well. And and so going from the integration side to the manufacturer side has been a trip, because all my experience is like, would I like this if I was sitting in the other chair? So I try not to, do things that I know that the integrators probably aren't going to dig.
That's a really interesting perspective. And just coming from your role at the integrator, a business leader, and also a content creator, how is all of those experience, how are you going to bring all of those together in marketing for Visionary?
Yeah, another great question. I do feel like, life kind of, if we're looking for it, our path just unfolds in front of us. And all these skills that I've used, marketing films for the past few years, marketing other business ventures, as you said, kind of content creation in addition to more narrative storytelling. All that is part of the corporate marketing world now, and so I'm gonna make the educational straight down the barrel. Here's the new product type stuff, but I'm hoping to bring some really fun content as well. Not a big dancer, not gonna see a lot of TikTok dances. I'll be honest about that.
I would argue that.
Yeah.
Why?
Thank you. I do enjoy it, but that's probably not what the corporate facing stuff's going to be. But I would contend that like our space needs more fun stuff like that, and what rAVe does and what Tim does. Bring in some of that lightheartedness and authenticity. It's not all corporate speak. Hey, here's the latest box. Here are the specs. That's I don't think that engages people the way that a lot of you all's content does, and a lot of the way that I hope our future content will as well.
Yeah, and I think the industry's changed as well. Even since you've been kind of out of it, I just think that the people have changed and they don't want that. They don't want just the specs. Like the specs still have a space, which
Yes.
obviously and being at Visionary, it's something that's very important. But you have to tell those specs in a creative way, and the storytelling is the way to go.
Yeah, I think so. And that's, that's a tale as old as time, right? As long as we've been humans on this earth, we've been telling stories and getting people excited about things. And again, that's why I say I had some other offers over the years to get back into AV, and nothing that I was like, oh, that's cool, and like
Yeah.
everybody, that in the script development world, if you're pitching a screenplay to people, the saying that I've heard all the time is like, everybody wants to get on a moving train, right? So if this thing's already got momentum, if you got some names attached, you got a director attached, it's a lot easier to get that project rolling. And I'm really looking forward to telling the story of how this momentum that Visionary's been building over the past 5+ years, 6+ years, and before that, I mean, they've been leaders in the category since the beginning, right? But like, they've done some really exciting stuff over the past 6 years, and I'm thrilled to get to just educate and inform everybody about that, because it's a cool story. And back to, I mean, you can get your boxes anywhere, right? Everybody's got a box that does a thing. And why are we different? And yes, it's the support and it's the people and it's the quality of the product. That's the other thing. I'm like, I think we've got the best stuff. And how great is that, right? Where it's like, I mean, the stuff works, the support is fantastic. And so I get to be out there just telling people like, yeah, look, we're doing it right, and we have a lot of fun doing it. And man, I went to Infocom this year. They brought me out to meet the team. It was kind of an audition, right? Like they're interviewing me. I'm interviewing them though too,
Yeah.
Go two-way street. And everybody I asked about the Visionary guys, because I didn't know anybody that well beyond Scott. And they said they're always looking for a win-win situation. They're not pounding down your door every quarter, trying to bust heads to meet a number for whatever. They're genuinely interested in projects that are successful for everybody, because long term, that's how you grow a business, is you just keep those relationships healthy and alive. And you look for ways not just to make your numbers, but to help the end users and the integrators as well.
I want to pick on that for a second, because I know you and I had a couple conversations the week that we were all in Vegas. This was your first experience being at Infocom as a manufacturer, because in the past, Phil, just like every other integrator, you make the rounds, you've got your plan, you've got to make this meeting and that meeting. What was it like being in one location? What was it like being in one booth, as opposed to roaming the show floor as you have in the past?
It's a completely different experience. It was a trip, man, because I'm so used to having to make that march, and it's the first day, you're excited, you get all this energy, and by Thursday afternoon or Friday, it's just like, oh, this slog. And I mean, great conversations are still taking place. But yeah, it was a completely different shift. It felt like, oh, I've got a home base. My purpose has changed.
Yeah.
I'm no longer there to become informed on all this other stuff. I'm really there to help kind of spread the word about what Visionary's doing. And it's cool because it's a very friendly audience. Most of the people that pop by the booth, either they've heard something, they're being brought by their rep, whatever the case may be. And again, from my perspective, it's all good news. We've got incredible product and more of it coming. You already know that it works well if you're here for the most part. Some people just randomly pop in, and you get to kind of educate and inform those people as well. But yeah, it was a completely different experience, kind of a mind trip, but super cool. And again, while there, I was like, this is something I could really be a part of, because you're building that relationship with your team, and kind of getting through the day together. And there's different phases of the day. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen
How
a
is
couple-
the how is it?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No.
How has it been since Infocom at the Visionary team and working with them?
It's been a whirlwind romance, let me tell you. No, I mean, it was great, because we got there and really we, again, weren't really sure what was happening. Scott was going to give a talk at the booth, and I just said, hey, you want me to take a swing at that? And so I ended up giving a series of talks at the booth, and that was a blast and just a lot of fun. And they could kind of see what I do. And yeah, so we left Vegas kind of with an agreement, more or less, where it was like, this seems pretty great, right? I mean, it was, that's why I say it really was. And they, they told me, and I don't think they'd mind me disclosing this, but they're like, this isn't usually how our interviews go. This is definitely outside of the norm. And I was like, yeah, right. Because I kind of came, I did my thing, I got to meet everybody, I went to all their parties. And I connected with so many friends from back in the day, and what an awesome time that was. Yeah, and so since then we kind of we got all the paperwork in order, and then tried to get right to work in terms of outlining our strategy for the following 3, 6, 9 months and beyond, and just put out our first video yesterday. And have a series to come. And they're gonna dabble. We're gonna have some pillars, as I know you all know, as content people. We'll have various pillars, educational in nature or telling the story. And and then it's nice because I'm pretty nimble, and so if something pops up, like this thing yesterday, which was kind of like, hey, our plugins are still available, they're still actively maintained. Some, we had heard maybe that some people thought that they weren't, and so it was easy enough for me to pop out and be like, hey, here's the thing, just and here's how you do it, no big deal.
I have to say, on a personal note, one of my favorite things about Infocom this year was taking selfies with you and sending them to old friends, and
Yeah.
saying, Look who I found." So that was just kind of cool. You mentioned the video. I saw the first one yesterday. We talked about specs and moving beyond the specs. What else? What type of content? What else should we expect out of you and out of Visionary?
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of, as I said, we're looking to build out a nice kind of large educational content library, right? So that's, whether that's LLDP, our gear uses link layer discovery protocol. There's some tech spec heavy stuff, we're getting into the weeds on some stuff because from my perspective, and you all know, a YouTube video transcript is just as searchable and just as valuable as an article or anything else, and maybe more so. It might be prioritized in the search. And so we've got white papers, we've got a lot of things that I think if we add some dynamic video to that, it's going to really bring those alive and help people that are looking for solutions to more easily find us. In addition to that, we've got some larger campaigns behind some big product rollouts that are coming. We announced the rAVe ecosystem, which is our major foray into control and audio, and it's a server-based platform, and it's what's next. We're really excited about it, and it's like everybody knows our AV over IP stuff is phenomenal, and we're just trying to help people that are looking for a more open, kind of all-inclusive environment to have another option. That's I think that's big for Visionary is we believe that people should be able to use whatever gear they want to use, bring it to the party. We have the technology now to make it all work. That's the thing, right? Back in the day, I worked from pulling cable, hanging TVs. I was a Crestron programmer for years, DSP programmer before I moved into the office, and did departmental and then VP level management. And so I've been stuck on job sites until 1, 2, 3 a.m. waiting for code to compile and load. And what's really exciting about just our ecosystem, for instance, this rAVe product, it's built on Node-RED. Try not to get too into the weeds, but basically you can make on-the-fly adjustments in real time, and you don't have to compile and upload code, which may not sound like a big deal to my wife. She doesn't care.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah, but if you're in a boardroom and everybody's and you tell, waiting for the room to work, and you're like, all right, guys, I got to take everything down for a solid few minutes. Sorry. And that's the worst, one of the worst feelings in AV. That's, there's probably video series to be done on that, guys, about like these super relatable scenarios of like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah.
And your contact's like, but my boss's boss is here. You can't kill the whole room. And I think, well, that's how it works, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm super excited to see all of the new content that comes out from Visionary over the next few months and year, and super excited, and congratulations on the new role. And thank you so much for joining us.
Sure thing. Thanks so much for having me. Big fan of the show, and look forward to seeing more of everybody in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Phil.
Thank you. All right, we are going to head into another commercial from our sponsor, Shure. So Tim, according to a market research firm, Future Market Insights, the digital signage industry is expected to grow to $6 billion by 2036. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Well, in order to do that, the market is growing quickly, so we've got to have centralized AI-driven signage platforms that will play a critical role. And my question is, will a lot of people be ready? And on our website, we currently have a downloadable ebook from Advantech that will kind of list out all of this and is a guide to kind of the future. And it's really talking about end-to-end digital signage ecosystems and how they come together. And the ebook is called Digital Screen Solutions, Bringing Vision AI to Every Screen. So I would encourage people to go download that just to check it out and see exactly how you can future-proof your digital signage solutions.
A couple of things from the article is, number one, it's not just talking about the content. That one's the easy one. I think it's the easy one because they've been messing around with what they call dynamic content for, oh Lord, 6-7 years now. But it's also the players. It's also the remote monitoring and the different areas that AI analytics and AI troubleshooting and AI break fix also has in the market. So that's going to be really, really interesting to watch.
Yep. Yep.
All right. We've got a couple articles that we pulled from AV-Nation. One is there's a couple of let's call it sphere-like installations going on in China.
Okay.
And I say they're sphere-like because it has nothing to do with MSG, and it is not the same company, and they are not the same size. They're also not the same price, and that's kind of the whole idea here. When you look at these, it is really about the immersive LED venues, period, happening in two different areas in China. They're very much localized. They're very much cultural centers. They're very much art centers as well. This is in addition to 2 or 3 actual Sphere company, the MSG folks that put up the Sphere in Vegas. They are actually developing 2 other ones outside of Vegas. One is in the Middle East. One they're looking at one in possibly DC. They've been playing around with one in the UK for a minute, but there's a lot of local
I thought there was going
pushback
to be
on that
one. Yeah, I thought there was going to be one in London.
There's some local pushback on the one in London. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, like some folks are like, yeah, we're kind of good. You know,
We're kind
you
of
can go put
crowded
that-
here.
Yeah. Well, they've got the Eye. They've got all kinds of museums. They've got a castle or 2 in London. They probably don't need the Sphere. But the article was based on a conversation we had on AV Week a couple weeks ago, where the neat thing about the Sphere is it's more than just an awesome venue. It's also a proof of concept for really immersive experiences, right? And it's something that Avixa has talked about. I think that we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary from when Infocom switched to the name Avixa. And
Has
that
it been
experience.
10 years?
I think it was 2016. I'm almost I'm not 100% on that, but I'm really, really close to being like certain. But since I hit 50, I don't lean on my memory that much anymore.
We'll have to look that up
We
and
can look that
confirm
up.
that.
But regardless, since they changed to Avixa, that X in Avixa is about experiences.
Yep.
And this venue has now birthed not just obviously their own MSG versions, but also other versions that are leaning into that whole immersive part. So I think it'll be really, really interesting to watch.
Well, yeah, and I think that that's kind of where our industry is headed. I mean, you look at ABI SPL and what they're doing with their XTG platform, and Mark Coxon and all the work that he's doing with that. So I think that the Sphere, you're exactly right. It's a concept of really immersive experiences, and that's what people want.
Yeah. And
what they
Emily
want to
corrected me.
experience.
It was September of 2017, so 9 years.
Oh,
Coming up on 9
okay.
years. So, also we got an article about SoundTube, and Steph actually put me on this road a couple of years ago. SoundTube is now shipping US-made TAA and BAA compliant in-ceiling speakers. The thing that she put me on was the BAA part. TAA is they're manufactured in friendly countries. Okay, whatever product it is. BAA is made in America, and that is being included in more and more specs, especially when it comes to government projects. So there's not a whole lot of AV gear that is BAA compliant. There just isn't. I mean, whether it is, there's a lot that is put together here in the States, but
Right.
the components though are made in other areas. And these speakers there's a number of speaker manufacturers as well, including SoundTube that are BAA compliant. But it's nice to see that they're not just bringing jobs here to the States, but also making it easier for contractors and end users who have that as part of their needs.
Yeah. Yep. We're about to head into a commercial from Crestron. It's about their venue that you just did a lunch learn on.
Yeah.
Talk about how that went and how the conversation was.
So it's Spotify Camp Nou, which is the FC Barcelona's new home, and Crestron is just all over that space.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of neat. The one thing that I took from that webinar is, let's say there's 22 to 25 matches a year. Okay, there's 365 days, but there's like 22 matches. That means that for the rest of the year, that space, it wasn't being utilized. And that was one of the driving forces of bringing Crestron in, was how do we take this from 22 dates of viability to 365? And
Yeah.
the automation and the technology that Crestron was able to help with the folks at FC Barcelona legitimately gave them that rest of that 365 days for events, for meetings, for all sorts of other possibilities for them to, quite frankly, recognize revenue outside of match days.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get to see it when we go to ISE next year.
Yep.
The new cathedrals of the big cities are the stadiums. We are focused to construct the biggest and the best stadium in Europe and the best stadium in the world.
It's a really ambitious project in terms of technology to design a fully connected ecosystem across all areas of the stadium. The only brand who can deliver a unified ecosystem with AV over IP technologies is Crestron.
We are not selling football, we are selling experience. Technology must be invisible for the fans. It must work. The Crestron system was essential to afford that kind of new experience in the venues.
So, Tim, this has been great. It's been great chatting.
It has been very fun. We should do this again. We should kick
We
them out
should.
again.
Yeah, let's do it. Finally, I want to wrap up with an upcoming event that we have on July 21st. It is AI, Data, and Trust, and what we, AV, must get right. AV has been advancing faster than a lot of guardrails. I'm sure that a lot of people have concerns about that. So Steph is going to chat with Blaine Brown. You know him.
I do.
He is the Chief AI Officer at CTI. Eric DeGiorgi, which is the CEO of NetSpeak, and also Brad Hinsey from Crestron. And Maren Horgan from Microsoft. So, yep. So that's on July 21st. Sign up for it. It's also CTSRU approved, D and I. So register for that by heading over to launch.com. And yeah, I think we did perfect, Tim. It is 9:30.
I think we did perfect. Again, we should kick them out more often.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Have an awesome day.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.